Technic cannoli.
What's good, Nerd Mob? This is Nerd Mafia and T-Rev to my right, your left, whatever. And tonight we're going to talk about episode 7 of Daredevil, maybe some other weird stuff, whatever comes to mind. But yeah, we're going to break down that episode like we tend to do. And then we're going to go over the predictions game we got cooking every episode and see who's inching closer to winning the Daredevil figurine we got as a prize, and also probably some free merch. It might be like 3 of you because everybody's beating me right now. But what up, Daniel Fisher? Cannolis, like it? So first things first, Treb. How we feel after this episode?
I felt like it was okay. It was good. I liked some of it. I didn't like all of it, but it was okay. It was good.
Yeah, I'd say I say the first like phrase that comes to mind is wasted talent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But definitely some more to explore as far as like the theory you had, I think. Going back to like the earlier episodes, maybe something shaping up, maybe not. And I mean, if you saw the title of the thumbnail too, we don't know exactly what the hell just happened at the end of that either. It could be just deceiving appearances. We don't know, but I guess we'll stroll down that memory lane as we go through the episode. What it all really comes down to is I think I miss Invincible, but but I got volume 1 and 2 of the compendiums on the shelf behind me, behind this Mirage that you guys are looking at. Yeah, it's over there, like right behind JJ.
There you go. That'll get you through to issue 96.
Yeah, so I'll be ahead of the game once we kick back in. But anywho, let's get everything going here. Am I even on the first picture? I hope. Yes, we are. Okay, cool. So we start off this episode with basically Fist Boys letting them know that Matt's back masquerading as Daredevil. And Fisk gets this expression on his face. I don't know if you saw this too. Almost kind of like scared and excited at the same time.
I was about to say, it seems like he was excited by it. Like every time there was a that Daredevil's back out there, it seems like almost like the like Vincent D'Onofrio, the Kingpin. He seemed like he got like a twinkle in his eye almost. Like it's like he's relishing in the fact that Daredevil's back. Like he likes it. Yeah.
Like, and then we continue like I'm sorry for throat fucking coughing up. But we get a lot of back and forth jumping between Fisk and Matt per usual. And it's striking me now as I look at this picture, it's like the exact like scene view you don't want when you like leave the stall in the men's bathroom, poke out, and this is what's looking at you. You know what I'm saying? They just look right at that. It's like anyway, next slide. So I mean, this is kind of further going into it. This is his reaction a little bit. Maybe I didn't catch the facial expression. This is more of his facial expression, but he's just like in deep thought, right? Before we can get more out of him, we flip back. Ooh, I wanted to talk about this too. We get like a little city scene, and then I actually saw this in somebody else's breakdown. Thought it was a really pretty cool fact. This was borderline Defenders reference, right? But not, because it's more of an indirect reference. This liquor right here, this Winston, is actually like a knockoff of like a Canadian whiskey, I believe. I forget the name of it, but I know it is. Yeah, something like, yeah. And it's actually appeared in like Tony Stark or Iron Man's like Demon in a Bottle. That's what he's drinking there. Howard Stark's drinking this back in season 2 of Peggy Carter. And Jessica Jones is drinking this in her show. This is like her whiskey of choice. So can't necessarily say this is a Defenders reference, although indirectly it is. And we don't count indirectly. It's
liquor in universe whiskey.
Yeah. So I just thought that was pretty cool. They threw that up there. That's why, as I was strolling through screenshots, I took one of those. And like I said, that's not even a find that I made. I clearly ripped that off of New Rockstars. You guys might have seen that too. But just bring it to your attention. Looked pretty cool. Or not even New Rockstar. I think it was Heavy Spoilers. My boy MT. Not my boy, but you know what I'm saying. I don't know. Then we get a glimpse of, and my bad, I've been calling her like Ava Ayala this whole time. It's actually Angela Del Toro's. Couldn't be further from the truth. I think Hector's sister is actually like Ava Ayala or whatever. Kind of glad Angela Del Toro. Much easier to say. Rolls off the tongue easier for this Anglo guy, you know. So, but she's laying up in the hospital bed after she lost all that blood, kind of having like a dream sequence here, flashing back to the fight and some other stuff, right? I don't think anything else missed
and
there.
They said she lost 2.5 milliliters or 2.5 liters of blood too, right? Which is half your for a full-size adult. They have 5 to 6 liters of blood. So
and she's kind of tiny.
And she's a kid, so losing 2.5 liters of blood is significant, right? So
it's pretty quick because she wasn't laying there that long. But whatever, we'll let stuff slide. And then she wakes up.
Hopefully they got some saline into her right
away. We switch back over to Matt. Casually getting a back shot of him in the shower, and then his girl Heather.
Bruce is on his kidneys. That'd be like where his kidneys are and stuff like that too, right? So.
Yep. But it's all good. Heather decides to just stroll in the shower, unannounced with a blind guy. He's cool with that. And it seems like she wants to talk about that bruise. And he's like, nope, we're just fucking. And we skip past that. And then she's kind of bringing it up to him as he's getting changed. Like, hey, what's going on? You seem like distant. So Matt's like already.
He's like blind guys fall.
Yeah, I'm going to fall occasionally and stuff. I didn't bring it up. It's kind of embarrassing. Okay, leave me alone. I don't want to talk about it. So he's kind of falling into that trope every superhero has. Like, I feel like most notably, you see it with like Peter Parker trying to do that work-life balance that just never works.
It's interesting how, like, as kids, as kids, we just like we understand the premise of a secret identity and how it works. And I think that as an adult, and we're seeing more in especially since the MCU debuted, like with I'm Iron Man at the end of Iron Man, that secret identities don't really work as well in the adult world because you have to because you're hiding so much of yourself from your partner.
Yeah.
Like that it becomes like your relationships will never work out. You'll never be in a successful relationship. You'll end up becoming very antisocial if you continue down that pathway, as you see like that happened to Matt previously, right? Like in previous seasons of Daredevil.
Yeah.
Like you start to lose yourself in the mission in whatever, kind of the way Batman is sometimes too, right? Like that's like it's.
Well, Batman's a sociopath, so
yeah,
a little different.
That's what I'm saying. Right? So you end up without relationships, you end up losing yourself in what you're doing, right? But as a kid, we accept the premise that a secret identity works.
Yeah.
As an adult, it doesn't work. Like it doesn't work. And I think, and this is showcasing that in this episode here as well, like that she knows he's lying to her, and that's going to be a thing. Like it's going to be a thing, right? Like and that's why, again, I think in so many TV shows now not just TV shows, but media, different forms of media other than the comics that are aimed at more adult, let's say, a mid-teen to adult range. Like they're not the secret identities are just kind of going by the wayside. Like, I mean, look at Arrow, look at the Flash. Like right away they lose their secret identities, right? Like they Superman and Lois, like this, like it's like because it doesn't work. Like none of these, it's just interesting. Like I find that like that's a interesting aspect of like that's probably what we're gonna like if Matt continues to reject wanting to tell her, which we'll see, but like it's like she knows that she heard Daredevil. Well, she heard Daredevil say her name later on in the spoiler, but like I won't go into more until we get there. But like she heard Daredevil say her name, right? So you know,
she's a little woozy though. She lost a little bit of blood too.
but you know what I mean? Like it's just, but keep going. Sorry, I just wanted to but like, I think it's important. Like I think it's important to talk about that kind of thing. Like it's interesting the way that's where we are in comic book media. Keep going though.
I mean, even when they put out Iron Man at first, they skipped over the whole like
the secret identity, like Iron Man being Tony Stark's bodyguard, right? Like that's what the comic.
Yeah.
That's what the comic history is. That Iron Man was Tony Stark's lead.
I think they hinted to it at first when he first starts talking, and then they just breezed right over it. They're like, no, we're not gonna do that, which made it an epic first like chapter of MCU though. When I am obviously, you know, but anywho, so they bicker a little bit, and then we keep flipping back and forth. So we go back to
Cherry.
Yeah, Matt in the office now. And wow. And now he's talking to Cherry, and Cherry's pissed. See, I've seen a lot of people come at it like Cherry's mad at him for being Daredevil again. That's not the way I took it when I watched this. What I took is he wanted him to say out this specific thing. Like it was dangerous with Muse. And
he's mad at him for being Daredevil again.
Could be, but I feel like
as well. It sounds like Cherry knew he was Daredevil prior to that opening scene in this show. Like in the first episode, Cherry's in the bar and Matt's like when Matt and Bullseye are going at it, right? And like Cherry confronts Matt on the rooftop right after he kills Bullseye, I think, right?
Yeah.
And so I think
tries to.
I think we were under or not kills, but like throws him off the roof. Sorry, I said kills, I meant throws him off the roof. Well, so he doesn't die, right? Like, but like it's just, but he did throw him off there, like just in my head.
I know it's just funny that you gotta like actually say that.
So, yeah. Well, like I think we were under the assumption that was the first time Cherry had seen Matt as Daredevil, but from this conversation, it sounds like Cherry was tipping off Matt to act as Daredevil prior to that happening.
I mean, could be. He could have actually talked to Daredevil not knowing he was Matt before that too, though. You know, we don't know.
It could have been that too. You're right. Kind of like how Gordon talks to Batman, I guess, and Gordon didn't really know that Batman was Bruce, kind of thing, but they're always kind of talking to each other, right?
The way it struck me, maybe just the way I heard it, maybe I paraphrased it inside my head. I thought that when he talked to him about like the whole situation with the serial killer, he was like, I thought I heard him say specifically like, stay out of this one. Let the cops do their jobs. You know? So in my mind, it was like, I think he was genuinely like concerned because this dude is like a psychopath, you know? But I don't know. That's my hot take, I guess. But
see Daniel Fisher? And I'm not even subscribed to Paul, so.
Well, I've been Paul. Yeah, I watched that too. MT actually did it. I don't think Paul's liking this, but either that or he just couldn't get it away from MT. But yeah, they go back and forth. Matt, and you tipped it off. Matt says like straight up, like I helped you. He had no problem with it before when you were a cop. Just more of that. And then we cut back to Fisk, and here he's actually explaining to Buck or Bullet, who you'll know him as in the comics, straight up telling him how like Matt is Daredevil, like dismantled his whole organization, basically, like single-handedly. Like
that's the direct reference to the previous show, right? The previous Netflix show.
Yeah. Right. Tore it down, and this guy's like, oh shit. We then cut back. I thought we were gonna cut back to Matt and Heather. But whatever. I always get things wrong in my head. All right. So we get back to Matt going to visit Angela in the hospital. And it's like a police interrogation. Like he's full on back in the game now. He's like sitting there talking to her. He's like, oh, you're good? That's great. All right. Now tell me anything you can remember about this place. Anything that seemed weird at all. And it's like, I'm just thinking in my head as she's talking to him. It's like, what exactly do you think your uncle's former defense attorney is doing right now? Like it's so obvious who
Yeah,
he is, you know?
yeah, yeah. You're right. You are right. Like,
I mean, going back further, why would that be the guy you call when like your daughter goes missing, or like, hey, you need to do something about it? He's a lawyer, dude. What is he gonna? He's not even a prosecutor. He's a defense attorney.
like you said, maybe that's part of this show going forward is going to be building up her character to become like his sidekick kind of thing, right?
I kind of hope so. I There's some rumors out there too.
That would go hand in hand with the whole Marvel
Hmm.
taking male figures and having them be mentors for up and coming female heroes, up and coming female characters across all of Disney kind of thing. That's what they've been doing the last like 5 or 6 years, right? So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and there's some rumors going on too. We'll talk about it after we get through it, I guess. And then here I took a bad screenshot because I didn't wait long enough. But anyway, we cut to police being in Muse's little cave in the subway system, or track 61. And then the female detective, yeah, female detective finds like a piece of his clothing, which we find out later this is actually like canvas. And so it's like, this dude is that dumb to buy something that you can only purchase.
Detective Angie Kim.
Yes.
There's Angela Del Toro and Angie Kim.
Yeah. Yeah, well, she ends up bringing that up to Fisk in a minute. Then we cut to Vanessa meeting up with some mystery guy. Oh, it's Luca. And Luca's basically hinting towards he wants her to be in charge again and get this fat guy out of the way.
Yeah.
I mean, did you take anything out of the combo?
Well, I think she's letting him, as we see later. She will never go against Wilson. I think she'll never act against Wilson. That's kind of what I'm getting. Like they're solid, really solid that way.
Yeah.
But she's giving the appearance of it, right? And as we'll see later, it's like she's giving Luca what he wants. She's giving Luca what he wants to hear, right? Like I don't remember this exact conversation in the moment, but I just remember like later on now, it's like that she's letting him believe that she's willing to act against the Kingpin, right? Like that she's thinking about it, right?
Daniel Fisher already knew it. Cat's out the bag. So I'm saying.
But yeah. The green track suit mod.
Yeah. Yeah, I know they ditched that entirely. They just didn't even want to go back. Like that was actually one of their more popular shows too. Then we cut back. This I couldn't figure out either. Like, is this their first therapy session?
Cutting back. This is cutting to.
Yeah. you know. Do you think this is their first therapy session? Like her and Bastion?
I don't
know.
So. I think this is. I think we might have been going through stuff here for like maybe like a month since that first episode. Like we might be actually operating in real time from how the episodes are coming out, like week to week to week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
maybe.
Other than the first 15 minutes that took place the year before, I think we might be operating. Like it's not. We're not operating within a span of like a week here. We're operating within a span of like. It seems like more than a month.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, if he met her at that book signing in the first episode, he probably made it like I don't know how busy she is, but it doesn't seem like it's the very first time because she seems like she's not introducing herself. She's not getting him like she seems comfortable with him. Like this might be the second or third visit kind of thing, right?
Maybe. I mean, the way though that you see like her just steadily get more creeped out as they talk. Yeah. Like she's just, I don't know. They don't really make it clear. I feel like they just want us to speculate on it. I'm wondering, like, I'm looking at the scene now.
This is what I was too. This is one in many since he met her, and I think this is him. This is the first time he's probably being super honest with her.
Yeah.
Right? He probably hasn't been entirely honest with her up to this point. But now he's about to, because he's targeting her now, right?
It's weird though. Like I wonder, like, did they cut something, or like why didn't they show
No, I'm
more?
sure that this show's been like remember. I think remember this show was going to be this season was going to be 18 episodes, right? And there's going to be
Yeah.
6 pods. So each pod was going to be 6 episodes, and we were probably going to have like a multi-pod arc, right? And then I think what happened is when they went and redesigned the show to make it 9 episodes rather than 18, they had to streamline what originally was an arc that was going to go over all 18 episodes.
Yeah.
Fit into the 9. Right? You understand?
I know, and I'm like, as you're saying that, I'm just thinking in my head, it's like, did they do the thing again, where they tried to jam a movie into a TV show?
So I'm thinking like, so when they said, "Oh, we're building this, we're scrapping the show," they never really scrapped the show. It was what they had what they were going to do, and then they were streamlining it to fit the whole show into 9 episodes versus 18.
Yeah.
So they had to streamline a bunch of things, and I think part of that was we probably would have had more visits with this. We probably would have had more stuff play out differently. And after this episode, I don't even think we're gonna get. I don't even know if we get the Punisher again in this season.
No, I know we got it. Some of the leaked set photos. He's coming.
Right,
yeah. It's gotta happen. The question is that going to be his only team up?
Yeah. Well, there's only 2 episodes left, right? But like you said, like so when you see a lot of people complaining about like for example, like other streamers.
Yeah.
Other streamers will say something like, "Oh, they scrapped the show. They were redoing the show." They didn't really do that though. All they were doing. They were just streamlining the show. The show from 18 episodes to 9 episodes, and because of that, there's unnatural jumps in the story that were not they're not great. But I think that's what the plan was though, that they were, and just because the first 6 episode arc probably didn't have any Daredevil, and I think we've heard that complaint, didn't have any Daredevil violence in it at all. Right? So what they did is they took those 6 episodes they filmed for the first pod, and they added the 15 minutes at the beginning, and they been intercutting more violence into it. And like I said, like this probably.
Dana Fish is like, I got it. Wrap it up. Wrap it.
Okay.
I gotta get no.
I get lost in the minutia sometimes.
I just thought it was funny when I read his comment. He's like, fit tonight. Got it, Trevor. I didn't know what it was now. All right. I'm looking at this photo now, just all the symbolism. I'm like trying to see if there's anything here, and that painting's just drawing my eye, but I don't think it's anything. But I don't know. Let me see.
And sometimes you got to do that, Daniel. I agree. And so now we have Angie Kim going to the mayor, the Kingpin, and saying, "Hey, we found this canvas art that only 11 people. It's a super expensive canvas that only 11 people have bought in town, and we've interviewed the other 10 of them, right, or something along those lines."
Yeah, he would have been like 12, I think. He would have been the 12th.
Yeah,
and he's the only one they couldn't get a hold of.
Yeah, interviewed everybody else, and the other guy's got a really shitty history, which is Bastion.
Yeah. So she ends up going back and forth with him. Apparently, it kind of sounds like this guy. He was into Taekwondo and might have killed his trainer, who mysteriously.
When they're going back and forth between her saying that and then him talking to the therapist and saying, "I learned a lot from him," or whatever. Like, he was a good teacher.
Yeah, I cut some of those clips out because it was like a lot of like jumping back and forth. The parallels in the show, sometimes it drives you nuts, but it's actually like it's kind of genius at the same time.
It's not even necessarily parallel. It's that she's doing she's telling, and he's having his story run.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I hear you.
But no, I thought it was funny, like, and kind of weird. Like right after she's done telling him, he's just like, "Okay, I'll take it from here." It's like, the fuck, you're the mayor. You're not. And you see her face like,
Yeah, she's like, really?
yeah. So we jump from there back to therapy, and you see like she's like, oh shit. And at this point, he's basically like, this is like right before he gets his nosebleed, and he's like, now right about this point, you're wondering to yourself, how quick can I get to the door? And it's like, the answer is you're not. I'm going to slam you into the wall. So he knocks her out. We end up cutting back. This is an interesting little subplot too. We cut back to Matt's office, and Kirsten, his partner, is basically like laying into Cherry, saying like, why are you guys keeping secrets from me? Why, like, we're partners. Why am I not in the loop here? This isn't the way I operate. And I think it's like foreshadowing, because like in the comics, she knows Matt is Daredevil. It's kind of like, all right, well, she's going to find out by the show's end, basically. That's what they're showing us.
They all have to find out, because otherwise Matt's going down a path where it's like, it's going to be real shitty, right? Like, so.
Yeah. We jump from there back to the task force, gets into the crime scene now. This douche. And then the Cole guy on the left's pretty cool. I got probably.
Officer Powell.
Yeah. And then
out with the Billy Club.
For some reason, rather than like staying at the scene when he's the only witness and maybe because he needed to get Angela out of there because she lost so much blood. I guess he didn't have time to look around. But he could have went back before cops got there. He swings in action right now while they're there. And then I thought it was really funny. Oh, hold up, not there yet. Oh, he's digging through.
He could, and earlier in the episode, he like felt her face, right?
Yep, I got that right here.
So this was a little fucking like, like I don't know, like I understand he's got a hyper sense of feel and everything else and touch and all that kind of stuff. But even
what are we doing here?
That would mean the artist rendition would have to be so fucking accurate, like photography accurate for him to make the assumption that it's fucking her. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I don't know if we've gotten smarter, which I'm pretty sure isn't right. But like the Netflix show, I don't think I had this many nitpicks, like these little dumb things that just they don't really bother me that much. But
it does seem like it would have been better if like he sculpted her head.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Right.
Like if he like sculpted, yeah, I think that would have worked better because this just to feel like he painted her face in blood. It's just like I can tell that's her face from this picture done in blood. That's not. Imagine it was
like a finger painting.
It's not just a random woman's face. Or whatever.
Like this, the scary movie version of this would be like him like feeling a finger painting. Like,
yeah, there was a really leap in. You had to take a really leap in like internal logic here in the fucking show like that.
So then Powell pops up. He's like, "Hey, what are you doing here?" And I thought this is the part I thought was hilarious. All of a sudden, Matt just swings around, boop, knocks him in the head with his freaking
club. Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, you know how he's just been wanting to do that all season. Powell wakes up eventually after that, calls Kingpin or Wilson Fisk, and this we get more into the dynamic and going on in his brain here. He gets this call, and you can kind of see it's not as much panic now because he mentions like the connection with the therapist and that Daredevil is definitely there. And you almost see in his eyes, he's like, he puts the phone down, he's like, all right, well, that makes sense. Like, yeah, like I'd go after it too, have to do too, you know? Like I almost think Fisk is justifying it in his head.
I think he recognizes the therapist as well as his therapist.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So yeah, he's just trying to, I don't know. Oh, you think maybe he's thinking he's coming after like him? I didn't even make that connection in my head.
He's recognizing, the therapist knows stuff about him and his wife that not everybody knows.
Oh, damn. So maybe instead of worrying Heather's going to get killed by Muse this whole time, she's worried about Fisk coming after her.
Well, I mean, he's having thoughts that maybe he's like, not that she would do that. Like he's not threatening to kill her in that moment, but he's thinking to himself like, having all these thoughts go through his head that like she knows a lot about me,
Yeah.
like that. You know what I mean? Like, and that's my therapist. That's the person I'm talking to about very intimate things between me and my wife.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not. It's and now Muse has her. Muse is targeting her. The serial killer that I'm trying to get is targeting her.
Yeah.
That
Walls.
Daredevil is also trying to get, and I know who Daredevil is.
Yeah.
So you know, like all that thing's probably going through his head, right? Like all those thoughts are probably going through his head, like that. Like he's just putting pieces together that like this
I
therapist. That
I kind of took it as like when he had that hesitation, I kind of thought like he's like, oh, Matt's gonna go after him now. Like if he's there, he made that connection too.
Yeah.
So that's why he's like, no, don't take any time, don't put on APB. That's what my thought was when he said like have the task force go after him. It's like give Matt time to take care of this guy. That's what I was thinking in my head.
Well, he wants the task force for the task force to have the glory, just like as shown later on. He wants the task force to have the glory of capturing Muse.
Yeah.
Because that's his baby, right? That's his task force. That's his thing. So success they have, and now and again from later on we see that, you know, like from later on they have success, right? So like, well, success.
Yeah.
So
um
that looks good for him. It's a good look for him, right?
we get our last Muse close up. He's just our beautiful baby here.
Yeah,
He's not gonna
I feel
make
like
it.
it's like because of the streamline, like I said, I feel like he was wasted. I feel like we probably should have got multiple episodes of him being interviewed by like him sitting on the couch, whatever, like you know, like being talked to. That could have played out over several episodes, over several things, and him.
See, I don't even think you need the task force in this. I think you could have teased them and saved it for the next season, unless they got something really crazy and awesome planned. But in my mind, you have Muse kill Heather here, and Matt hasn't even suited up yet, or maybe even kill Angela too.
Well,
and like
later on, but like I have a feeling that the task force is going to be aimed directly at someone.
Yeah,
like aimed. I think in the name is right in the middle of our screen right now at the bottom. It's going to be aimed right at someone.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, if you want to make it more compelling,
because he successfully took out a masked individual. Who's another masked individual that the task force can target?
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, I don't even think we needed them yet this season. I think if you made Muse just like he was already kind of terrifying, like almost jump scare scenes, borderline. Well, but if you up the stakes and have him murder her, somebody close to him, push Matt completely over. That's where I thought they were gonna go. Like, how far can we push this guy?
Well, how does this play out over 18 episodes, as we were talking about earlier? How does this play out over 18 episodes? Do we have like an arc where we have the Hector Ayala arc, let's say, over like that takes place over 6 episodes? We maybe have the Task Force arc with the Punisher.
Yeah.
Over 6 episodes with Muse running in the background, and then we have all these things kind of connect in the last 6 episodes. The last 6 episodes,
yeah,
right? Where it all. I think that's kind of how the show was originally planned, right? So
yeah, and I think they're like doing the Spider-Man 3 thing. Like they're trying to have like 3 stories and 3 villains. It's like, dude, this is your guy right here. This would have been enough if you drew it out long enough, raise the stakes.
It's always that way. Whenever we had, it's a tough line. It's a tough tightrope to walk, is the saying.
Yeah.
When you have multiple villains, multiple storylines, because a lot of it ends up being convoluted for the viewer. Like you look at like Spider-Man 3, not No Way Home, but Spider-Man 3, like Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man 3 with Sandman,
exactly,
and Venom. You know what I mean? Like people thought
that's it. Yeah, it's exactly what I was saying. It's Spider-Man 3 problem.
Like it's a tough rope to walk. Like it's like, you have to do it where everybody gonna get enough time to like highlight. Like instead of they kind of did it in they kind of walked the line in No Way Home a little bit. It wasn't like No Way Home was excellent, but saying that, we already had a history with all those characters.
Yeah.
So all those characters had starred in their own movie. Kind of. Sandman, I guess, was with Venom, but like they'd all starred in their own movie. They all had previous histories. They all had all these kind of things, right? So like, it's the whole. It's like that's they were building up characters that were already established. Whereas Muse, like as we see here, this is his first TV appearances in this show. So like we don't have a really good history of him, and we have him operating with the Kingpin and everything else, who is an existing character, but like we didn't get enough Muse. Like keep going here.
No.
We didn't get enough.
Like honestly, the way it like was framed in the trailers too. I thought this could have been like the guy the whole season.
Yeah.
So he starts getting the blood work.
And saying that, I don't usually have when this was happening. I don't usually have a reaction to this. I worked as a paramedic. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I have a history with a lot of like blood and gore and all that kind of stuff, like having to deal with it. I actually had a visceral reaction to this when he was cutting open her anti-cubital and everything. Like I don't know, like this, it was actually very off-putting to me. I don't know, that's the first time I've had a reaction to something like that.
Yeah.
On a TV show in like 4 or 5 days.
Yeah, they missed out. Like this dude was legit. Like when you just think of what he's doing, it was so gross. It was terrifying. You know, if you think about that's like the serial killer going around.
Yeah, like
you draw that out a little while. You make it like an actual mystery who he is. You don't just have Daredevil find him instantly. You know, like with little to no effort, and then just beat the crap out of him.
Well, like I said, like I just it was interesting that I've never. It was interesting to me to have that reaction watching it because I don't usually have those kind of reactions.
Yeah, but I skipped over to he ties up her arm and then he just puts his cut right down her arm.
Yeah, so she cuts down her anti-cubital, like probably makes about like a 6-inch cut right down where she starts bleeding out. Like it's like, you know what I mean? Like so it's like yeah.
Yeah, like he's not going for the slow artistry. He puts a canvas on the ground. He's like, we're going to do some splash painting.
Yeah.
But then Matt jumps into action. Daredevil, I should say.
Yeah, he comes crashing in through the window, the big bay window there.
So he does this like right before the task force gets there. And immediately Cole looks up. The rest of them do too. And they see like, okay, something's going on here.
The window's broken up there,
Yeah. They're getting ready in a similar way to like the bank episode. They're getting ready to breach. I'm sure he hears that going on. He's beating the crap out of Muse on his own canvas, which is kind of funny and a little bit like similar to when he beats the crap out of Kingpin on his canvas behind him.
Just made me think of that thing we forgot to mention earlier when he says like him and his girlfriend, the therapist there, they say "I love you" to each other. And when she says "I love you" to him, he's listening to her heartbeat, and her heartbeat is going normal, like she's not lying. Like
yeah. Shit.
I don't know why they showcase that. They showcase that aspect in this episode, right? Like they wanted you to know that Matt was listening to her heartbeat as she was saying "I love you," to know that she wasn't lying about it, right?
I didn't even think about that. I'm not gonna, like I knew. Obviously I heard him listening to the heartbeat. I just didn't think of.
That's why. That's why they were showing it. Like, yeah. Why else would they? I was just thinking to myself.
I didn't get it. I guess as I was hearing it, I'm like, all right, why is he doing that to like try to make sure he gives the right response? Like I don't know, you know. I didn't think of it that way. Yeah.
It's a good thing he saw right on his canvas.
Yeah, you know, we don't want to have a mess.
Yeah.
Anyway, they're going at it, and she's just like, you know what, this is taking too long.
And saying that before this though, Matt hits him with the billy club. And it goes through his fucking chest, like through.
There's definitely more. They're fighting for a good like few minutes. Matt hits him with that. Muse goes to like throw a dagger right at her. Matt stops that. Muse drops his gun, and then eventually she picks it up. 3 in the chest. Should have put 1 in the head too. That's usually how you make sure you're good. And then she just kind of drops.
What rule is that from Zombieland?
I don't remember. 2 in the chest, 1 in the head. That's how you go with it.
Double tap the head or whatever. Right?
Get over here.
Yeah. That's what it was like.
It was badass. I mean, the Daredevil action scenes in this whole show have been pretty cool. I can't lie, I missed that.
Yeah, the violence has been good. When the violence is happening, generally it's been good.
So like Trev said, she's bleeding out pretty bad. She drops. The hell? Did I click on someone else? Yeah. Matt goes to see if she's okay, but he doesn't have enough time.
And he's saying her name as he's talking to her ear. He's saying, Heather, Heather.
Yeah, well, come on, Trev. She just passed out. She's not going to hear them.
But she did hear it, though, right? Because she mentions that she heard it later on, right?
Did I miss that, too?
Daredevil was saying my name when she.
Damn. I did hear Kingpin say Vanessa, and I don't think I got the right clip in her screenshot here for it. You heard that, too. Oh, no. He doesn't say it to her. He says it when he's talking to the other guys. He lets out a Vanessa, just not to her face. Still counts. He said Vanessa. But, yeah, cops bust in. They breach. And you see this, like, some books on the ground, but for the most part, the blood's right there on the canvas, so we're good. And this scene, they actually, a couple people pointed out, and I should have grabbed a picture of it too. The Statue of Liberty mural that he does, he's almost in the same exact pose with like the torch up in the air and then hand down by his left side. Or where is that light bubble coming from? And then also, is it because I did this? Do you see a little like bubble up on the screen?
Little thumb up.
What?
There you go. Cool.
I didn't know I could do that. What else we got?
Okay, you're getting sidetracked.
What? This is like iPhone magic. Like, what is this? I didn't know I could do this. It definitely is. That's what you do on an iPhone to get that to happen, right? You go like this.
I've never owned an iPhone. I don't buy Apple products.
What is it? This one. Yeah, this is exactly what my iPhone does. This is crazy. I didn't know my app did this. All right. Anyway. You also got Busha sitting there being like, bye. But
yeah, so I didn't. That's a good pull. I didn't realize that at all. Saying that, I never really got a good look at the Statue of Liberty painting, really, because it only flashed on the screen for like 2 seconds.
I think the best look at it is when they're showing all the pictures to Fisk.
Yeah,
like,
but it still only flashed on the screen for like 2 seconds. I never really got a good look at it. All I could really see was the alleged prostitutes. I think they were I think from the interview with the girl later on, they were prostitutes, but they were just. I only kind of really noticed them sitting on the.
Yeah. Yeah. Check out Heavy Spoilers, Mastertainment. He breaks that down pretty funny. From there, Fist arrives on the scene. Obviously, he hears about the fact that somebody else is there, Daredevil. And he's like, nobody else is here. Got it.
He's showing that he's excited again. That he wants the task force to take credit. You guys killed Muse.
Yep.
You killed Muse. Because
again, you get a Muse.
It makes him look good. It's good public optics for him, and it reduces Daredevil as well, right? So
exactly. This is pretty funny. Your boy Soprano Jr. over here, just like. No, I'm not making a threat. I'm just saying I don't want things to get pretty bad for you, okay? We'll keep things good, BB. So basically, he's almost another, like, extreme take on Trump here. Like, silencing the press, right? Like, silencing your critics.
I don't think that's necessarily Trump. I think that's just people in power.
Yeah. But this guy's showing his undying loyalty as well.
Sure.
And I'm wondering where he's going to be. Like
I said, we want to refer to my theory from earlier. I think he's going to end up being King. Like he's going to end up being Wilson Fisk's son. But like, you're
saying he's going to be a son of a Fisk,
or in that role where he's going to become a protege to Wilson. Either his son or protege, and he'll end up being the character. I think he'll end up being the character of the Road from the comic books.
Possibly.
And it doesn't even necessarily have to play out this season. I think I think he's going to be in the show for for the next season as well. So. Yeah. But I think this is his introduction. I think that's where they're going with that character.
All right. Matt ends up going back to see her at the hospital. You know, you got to do the boyfriend thing. And apparently, I missed this combo or the part where she said like she heard his name there, or he said her name, but allegedly Trev heard it, and he hears no lies.
You didn't hear? That's what she said. She's.
Listen, man, I just figured she was on anesthesia. Son of a Fisk. Ah, damn.
Son of a Fisk.
Daniel Fisher gets it. He knows what's up, you know. Son of a Fisk. All right, so yeah, it's more of the same, really, though. Like, it's him walking that tightrope, like, not so well. And we actually forgot to talk about, too, at one point when he's talking to her earlier, he says, like, he feels like this all is fake. He's like, no, not us. It's like, what? Like, how the hell did he backpedal his way out of that one so quick? I don't think I could ever pull that off.
You should try
it. Try it in like an hour. Just let me know how it goes.
You know what? I think this might all be a simulation. Are you even real?
No, I think this whole relationship is fake.
What would happen if I went to the Rippers right now?
Maybe that plays into more why he listened for the heartbeat too. You know, to see if she was like is this real? I don't know. That scene was weird to me. Like I said, like your interpretation of it, I didn't think of it that way. I was just more confused. Like, what are we doing here?
Like I said, I felt like he was listening to, like you said, like he's listening, because in that moment, like, when does he ever listen to the heartbeat? When someone's dying, or if they're telling the truth or not.
Yeah. Maybe he thought she was ill or something. No.
Like you said, he wants to believe that, and she said, "I love you" first, right? I didn't even think he was gonna say it back to her at first.
Yeah.
I didn't think he was gonna say it back to her like earlier on. Like I thought he might say like do like the thank you.
Yeah. Then turn around, walk.
I really thought he might do that. So and then when he said it, it almost felt like he was lying. Like he was lying. That's why I kind of felt like he wouldn't say it. It's like, but you know.
Well, she's like part of this fake life he's leading. You know, like
maybe,
his.
Yeah, maybe.
What do you?
That's what it is. Yeah.
I don't know.
The way Batman views Bruce Wayne, right? Batman's Batman. Bruce Wayne is the facade.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think Daredevil loses himself, where it gets similar to that. Where Daredevil, when he gets lost in his mission, he like Matt just becomes like the extra baggage he carries around. That he doesn't want to be a lawyer. He doesn't necessarily want to do those things.
Oh, if the stuff we're seeing from season 2 already coming out, where he's in the black suit, red DD on his chest.
Spoilers. Okay, well that's not necessarily a big deal. It's just a suit change.
You know, if the Den of Nerds guy is correct, which let's be totally honest, how many times is he correct with theories? Remember his theories about how?
Still remember, he gets a lot of feedback. Like he's building his theories from a lot of feedback from his group, from Twitter, from Reddit, and everything else, right? Like he's building on other people's ideas generally. So, but like he does have his own ideas as well. But he's building. He's taking all these threads and pulling them together into how he views something. And sometimes he's right, sometimes he's wrong.
I think the
Abeloth thing right now, it looks like that Abeloth thing might be right for Ahsoka season 2. But like,
yeah. I think the last time I took his word for like, oh wow, this is definitely gonna happen, was like the month or two leading up to like Multiverse of Madness, where he said there was gonna be a scene between Magneto and Wanda.
Oh, I never believed any of that.
Yeah, but I feel like and it's not just him too. I'm picking on him right now, but like all these scoopers and everybody, like the leak culture people, that they come out with this.
Remember, it's almost like an industry now, right? Like they're all trying.
Yeah.
And like I can put out a lot of vague ideas and scoops. Like I could put out a lot of vague ideas. Like a lot of the ideas that have been coming out, a lot of people who've read comic books, you can put out these ideas, and they'll make because even Rob from Comics Explained, he has his own ideas as well, right? Like,
his are the worst, but I think he owns it though. Yeah.
like, and that's good. But you can see what's going on in some things. Like for example, like I have this idea that that they might combine Jean Grey's character with Firestar's character because Jean Grey as the Phoenix, her name is Marvel Girl, right? Like that's her code name, Marvel Girl, Jean Grey. You know the X-Men.
Sure. No,
Marvel. And so I doubt they're going to introduce another Marvel Girl, and they might introduce her code name as being Firestar. And
Why would they do that though?
Because Firestar is a character from Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends cartoon in the 80s that you probably watched. You probably don't remember, but you probably watched it. It was like
90s one was
Spider-Man, Iceman, and Firestar. So Firestar was introduced, and then she was introduced in the comic books as well. But she's a character that's a mutant that has fire abilities, which is similar to when Jean has the Phoenix. She also has fire abilities.
So I like the idea of Sadie Sink just being Mary Jane Watson. Yeah.
I don't know.
I think they switched it up so much, like without no Uncle Ben.
I think it's stupid to introduce Mary Jane.
I don't know. In the comics, he meets her when he's in college, right?
No.
No?
No.
I thought it was Gwen Stacy, then he meets Mary Jane when he's in college.
Yeah, he does, but that's all still in high school.
I was still in high school? Damn.
Yeah. Gwen dies, right? Gwen is killed by the Green Goblin in Amazing Spider-Man 121, I think. In the way that Mary Jane almost dies in Spider-Man 1 is how Gwen dies.
Yeah.
Well, I guess Gwen also dies kind of that way in Amazing Spider-Man 2, like when Peter tries to save Gwen and snaps her neck. That's kind of what happens. But it happens at the Brooklyn Bridge with Gwen falling off the bridge.
Yeah.
Not an elevator, because I think she falls in an elevator shaft in the Amazing Spider-Man movie.
I'll tell you what I'd really love is if they brought in Black Cat.
Sure.
Felicia Hardy. That would be awesome.
But that's just like a Catwoman analog, right? Like Black Cat and Catwoman are kind of like the same character. So like it's just
but even in the 90s cartoon, she was hot as hell, dude. Like she was the best.
And she has.
I don't know much about her backstory too. Like it's like
she gets the super soldier serum in the TV show, in the 90s TV show, right?
That's like my knowledge of her because I like love that TV show. That's not how her story really is though, right?
She has bad luck powers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, her powers are like that. Like she's fortunate when other people, and she gives bad luck to other people.
So she's Domino.
Kind of.
I like the 90s cartoon version better. I think they should go with that. And you got the Kingpin.
Yeah.
You know, you should go with it.
Sure.
It'd be way more fun.
Can you see this Kingpin with Spider-Man?
No.
Yeah, I can't.
Because I don't see him like. I think the real reason is there's no Norman Osborn. And I have Kingpin built up in my head. Like, I understand, like, I don't think we're that far off in age, but like my first exposure to comic books was like those 90s X-Men shows and Spider-Man show. You know? So like in my mind, it's Kingpin at odds with Norman Osborn at all times. And then like him just kind of any like big villain is interacting with Kingpin at some point, you know?
Yeah. Well,
and this guy
in the comic books, it's kind of like that. Norman's not necessarily against Wilson in the comic book all the time, but we also had that in Spectacular Spider-Man, where remember the big man was Tombstone, and Tombstone was with Norman, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I just don't. I mean, I can't be hypocritical. It's like he is like running the city's like crime lords, right? But these city crime lords are just weak.
He doesn't seem like he's not a menacing enough character to me to be a foil for Spider-Man. Like I can't see Kingpin at this point. This version of Kingpin, like even with the resources he has, being anything like I can't visualize it. I can't visualize it at all. Like, I can't. Because I think he's been shown as being too
beatable.
beatable by Daredevil, right? So
that honestly ruins it because it's like this dude should be like invincible.
And he's also had too much hands-on fights with Daredevil, whereas like he'd be so much more hands-off. Like he'd be so much more hands-off. Like especially with Spider-Man, like he'd have like a million. Like the Shocker would be like he would have hired the Shocker, created the Shocker.
Yeah.
He would have, like like the. Yeah, he'd be sending all the like the superior foes or the superior villains of Spider-Man or whatever, all those kind of things.
I think the way they're probably going to keep it is just keep him in the TV shows.
Yeah.
I don't know. We veered off though. We got awkward pose. Wilson Fisk here.
With the mask, having the anti-vigilante task force take credit for Muse's death.
I love how purposely awkward they make him though. In every like photo, it's like that's the other thing too. Like, is that supposed to be Kingpin? Like, why do they make him so damn awkward? Like this dude's performance. I picture him as more like coming off, just coming off more though as like a not as maniacal, but just like he seems dumb, at times in this, and he should be the smartest guy, like the smartest villain.
Yeah, it doesn't seem calculating to the extent that he should be, I guess.
Yeah, he seems like vengeful, and he can come up with some little plot, but he never just seems like the smartest guy in the room. Seems like the most intimidating guy in the room, but not the smartest guy.
Yeah,
and that's like my problem with him.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's like the actor's problem.
He's not Tony Soprano enough. Tony seems smarter than he does.
Sometimes, yeah. Like not all the time, but but yeah, you're right. I don't know. It bothers me because I feel like this should be awesome. And I don't know if the actor thinks he owns the role too much, or he's not letting them script it in a different way, or what,
Daniel makes a point there. See Daniel's point.
This version of him, yeah. But like 90 Spider-Man version would be a masterful politician,
But then
and maybe it's my bias.
You also have Smythe and the spider slaying robots.
Well, yeah, I mean,
however, I kind of visualize how his voice is, but I'm not getting it quite right because he has this like echoey voice kind of thing when he talks in the cartoon.
He almost sounds like British.
Alistair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's it. I don't know. It's just a weird. The way he talks, everything. I don't know. That's actually better wording than what I was getting out of my mouth. Like confident, calculate. This dude doesn't seem this way. This guy seems like broken in some way.
This one is also autistic.
Yeah, what are we doing?
Remember, this Kingpin is shown to be like he's got like autistic features, right?
Yeah, and that's like, I don't know, man. I wish. How
do you like your Kingpin? I like him a little with a touch of the tism.
How I like my Kingpin? VANESSA.
Well, it's fine. It's just that's how they've shown his backstory. I don't know of a lot of the Kingpin's actual backstory, but they modified that for the Netflix show, right? So.
Yeah. Oh, if you guys are still watching, I don't know if you're noticing, I'm rocking my own merch. You can rock it too in the store.
What's the next one? Now, let's finish this up because I gotta go shovel and take the garbage out before
all right. Let's get through this before the snow melts. You said.
Freezing. And it's fucking impossible to move.
All right, so we cut to the VANESSA, and she's texting Kingpin's or Fisk's address. He's alone.
She's texting Mr. Luca because
here's the thing about that too. We don't know it's Luca.
We do know it's Luca.
Do we?
Yeah.
Look at the number up top. Oh yeah, I guess it would say Wilson if it was. All right, didn't think of that. Never mind. There's been an off-screen conversation where she's told Wilson about this already, right? And Wilson has told her text him the address. Yeah.
So, because again, she's not going to go against Wilson. They've shown that here. They've shown that in the prior show, like that she was running her own thing, but she's not going to go against Wilson. Their marriage is their marriage is. It may not be great in the bedroom right now, but like their marriage is their bond.
Not great in the bedroom right now. not great in there.
Not great.
It's not good right now.
But I really like this actually. So keep going. Cut to the next thing. So he goes to the restaurant here. You see Wilson eating his gigantic meal by himself.
He's got more sausage, I think.
The thing is,
the little mushrooms there, maybe.
You don't see Buck though, which is like Buck is silhouetted, not silhouetted, but he's hidden up on the side of the wall here. And so go to the next one. Luca comes barging in.
Yeah, he rolls up, sees him just eating alone, mind his own business.
So Buck is like right there.
Yeah, it's like behind a curtain.
Above Wilson's head. But you don't see him.
He's like, let's go. This is the shots getting off right now in the background by Buck. Yeah. So it's that third curtain. Drops him. I got a good snapshot, I think. Yeah. See the bullet hole?
Like again, the Kingpin was prepared for this. And so him and Vanessa set this up, right?
Probably.
Not probably, they did.
And that's it. It's the last scene there. Luca didn't pay the $2.8 million. That's what I'm thinking. Like, why you want to take him out? Don't you want your money?
Because Luca was going to start getting aggressive with him.
Yeah.
I think that's what they were forced. They were showing that Luca wasn't going to pay, and he was going to be a problem.
Yeah.
And he was going to become. So by Vanessa saying allowing him to think that she would betray Wilson, allowed Wilson to kill him fairly easily, right? So.
Yeah.
And we might see that play out again in the future, or this might make all the other kind of bosses like fall into line, right?
Yeah, man. Sure. Yeah, man. Whatever you say. I killed my own theory right away when I thought about it. It's like she would have had Wilson's name in her phone, I believe, if she was texting.
But why would she text Wilson the address he had?
I don't know.
Listen,
Magneto and Scarlet Witch are gonna fight. It's gonna be epic. She's gonna win. All right, we're getting right into predictions. Fire sale right here. Okay, it's spoiler alert.
Did you change up the questions? Did you spend like half an hour and change up the questions?
I did. I actually went back to our last stream and I was re-listening to it because I was thinking of ideas. All right, Under gets the point. Sorry, Santa. Do we get a courtroom scene? I thought yes. The answer was no. No's get the point.
We got a law firm scene.
Santa gets the lead back. I'm like tallying in my head this whole time. Am I being Santa? So we're tied right now. Is Matt visit a confessional booth? No. All right, so me and Santa still tied. Does the swordsman appear?
I would say does Matt go to confession rather than a confessional booth? Just because when he confesses to the pastor, he might just do that like, you know, he might not do it in the booth. He might just do it like at the church, right? Or he might when he talks to a pastor eventually.
So does Matt speak to a priest?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll switch to that. All right, we both put yes there. We're still tied. Does Muse appear? Yeses get the point, clearly.
Probably can't have that question next time.
Probably not. We both said no, so we're still tied. Does the Punisher appear? No. Santa said yes, so I'm up by one. Is there a BB report? Not exclusively, but somebody was watching it. That counts. And we all said yes.
Sure.
So Santa's still tied. Or no, I'm up by 1. So Wilson and Fist say Vanessa. He does. I never said, does he say it to her? So yeses get the point here. Oh, Santa got up on me. Now we're tied again. Do we learn who killed Hector? I thought that might come up, but I said no anyway.
It didn't.
Nose get the point. Santa said yes. I'm up by 1 again. Does Matt wear the Daredevil suit? Took away Santa's prediction. Method to the madness. All right. Yes gets the point. And I said no. I'm the only one. So now we're tied again. Does Wilson Fisk hit somebody? No. Nose get the point. Daniel Fisher said yes. Still tied with Santa. Is Foggy mentioned or reference? Thought that might happen here too, but nothing. I still said no, though. Nose get the point. We got Daniel Fisher twice. Still tied with Santa. Is there a cameo or reference to a known MCU character? No.
What about the Wisers?
Wow. Oh, the whiskey?
You brought it up. You spent like 30 seconds on it.
It's an inanimate object. It's not a character. I said yes here for some reason. Santa said yes, so he's up by 1.
The city is the character.
It's never be
every episode.
All right, everybody gets a point here.
And hey, actually, they brought up the Daredevil. They brought up like he like in the 10 years that he destroyed Wilson's enterprises and stuff like that.
What about it?
I don't know.
All right. I think Santa's up by 1 right now. Does he beat me?
Stop worrying about Santa.
I mean, I need to know for this question. So Santa's up by 1.
Santa. He'll give you a gift and let you win at the end. Don't worry.
He's gonna give me merch for.
He's gonna
All
give
right.
you a gift.
Oh, I think Santa beat me. Yeah, I think he was up by 1. So I think Daniel Fisher's the only one to get a point here. I did cheat and look at it right after the episode because I wanted to see if I beat Santa. Luca doesn't pay the $2.8 million. Great guess, actually. Matt gets a new client was mine. That's a big 0. Matt and Fisk have another face-to-face meeting from Santa. That's a 0. Daredevil will bleed. Ooh. He got pierced with that fight with Muse. I think you get that, Ducky Momo.
Yeah.
All right. This week's total. Santa beat me by 1, which is going to end up being 2. Because he bets. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, he did. All right. Nose get the point here. Had hope. I thought he bet against himself for a second.
Do better, Nerd Mafia.
Right? Momo gets an extra point. Santa gets a point.
It's going to be pretty sad if you finish last in your own poll.
It is. It is.
What happens if you were to win, though? You give yourself the Daredevil toy?
Of course. Of course. All right, so new total. Daniel Fisher still on top by a 1-point margin. Look at who came crawling back. Ducky Momo. Santa's beating me by 5 with 2 episodes to go.
5.
Yeah, man, I don't like this.
Wow. How many questions do you have each time?
It varies. I think we're up to like 15 now.
Wow.
16.
You need to have like a perfect run.
I know, right? I'm gonna add more questions. I thought about it actually, though. And next series we do, to make it more interesting, when you get one wrong, you're gonna get -1.
You can't do that for the next episode. Or the next
No. Next series, I'm gonna do that though. As long as it works. Does it work in here? Let me see. If I make that -1, does he drop down to like 65? He does. It does work. So yeah, that's happening. So you better be very careful.
That also mean though that like we should have the option of not answering that.
Ooh. Oh, that's getting you a -1. You omit, you're getting a -1 too.
Because if you choose not to answer, you're neither right nor wrong.
You guys better hope that Trevor's here to back you up. Oh, we're definitely doing Ironheart. I was actually shopping like the other day, thinking what I could use because I know nobody wants any Ironheart merch, and I don't think it even exists. So,
yeah, there's Ironheart Funkos and stuff like that.
My comic book shop does not care about it.
I've seen Ironheart. I've seen Ironheart Funkos, and I've seen there's actually a Toys R Us. Well, Toys R Us doesn't exist in the States anymore, but and Toys R Us is going on a thing here. But there's Ironheart like Legends figures of the Toys R Us here.
Yeah, I'll have to get creative.
I want to send it to you. But
I don't want to do.
But you gotta,
I don't want.
You gotta reimburse me the money and the shipping.
I just don't want to do Funkos anymore.
Well, this isn't a Funko. I can probably go to Toys R Us and buy the Legends Ironheart figure for you if you want.
It's gonna be like a tariff on it at this point if you send something.
Well, I can have it here. No, it's not, because it'd be a gift from me, right? They wouldn't know what it is. Like, why would they?
You ever seen Canadian Bacon?
You're not. And you're saying that you're not buying. You would just e-transfer me the money. Do they do that?
Yeah.
Do they do e-transfer in the States yet? They do, right?
I'd probably just wait to see who won. And you'll actually play next time, maybe. And that way you can just win and keep it.
I wouldn't want it.
That's what I'm saying.
I'll buy it for you if you want it. Like,
I don't think anybody's gonna want some Ironheart stuff.
You know what? I'm gonna go to the Toys R Us tomorrow. I'm gonna look. I bet you that thing. If that thing's still there and it's like, because it's closing, right? So Toys R Us started the first week was like 10% off. It's probably like at 25% off now. So
get it. Just grab it. That could be it.
Figures are fucking like $35, right?
This one was like 50, I got. So
yeah.
I stopped cheaping out for you guys, and now I can't win. I even forgot to cheat a little bit and get my wife to play too. But she won't watch Daredevil, so too violent for her. Oh, that's cool. I was talking with Santa too, and I'm like, you're gonna have to do like an actual predictions game for the movie. Well, how are you gonna do that? Star Wars. This has never happened for you. Star Wars doesn't put out movies. Joke with them all the time, and like they should change the name from Lucasfilm to Lucas TV. The entirety of the time Santa's been a YouTuber, there's been no Star Wars movies, no films.
Is that big a deal? Why is that big a deal?
Just funny.
So,
Daniel Fisher.
Remember,
it's pretty available.
From Return of the Jedi in '83 to 1999 for Episode 1. So that's 16 years without a Star Wars movie in theaters. There was the 2 Ewok movies that were, I think, made for TV.
Yeah, we're living in different times though now. Capitalize on that IP.
Like, it doesn't matter. Like, I would if the last movie came out in 2019, I wouldn't have expected another movie till 2035.
Right, but look, at that time it was owned by George Lucas's company, right? Since then, it was purchased for $4 billion, and they're not making money off their.
Force Awakens did as big as it was, is because it was also a decade after Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
And people want a lot of new Star Wars there. Star Wars isn't a franchise that theatrically you can just push movie after movie after movie. It has to have long periods of nothing.
I don't agree.
It has to have it. Like, it has to have it.
They just need better stories, and they haven't been very creative. I mean, they were with The Last Jedi, just not in the way we wanted them to be.
We're gonna get Heir to the Empire, and I think that's what everyone expected that's what everyone expected Force Awakens to be, really. Not that not when they heard the title Force Awakens, but everybody expected, I think, basically Heir to the Empire to be when Disney bought Lucasfilm and we were gonna get a sequel trilogy.
Yeah,
I think that's what people thought we were gonna get.
I wish they just did it when the actors were all still young and alive. It would have been awesome. But whatever, man. You got a shovel, right? You putting it off now?
I got a fucking shovel.
Good old Canada. Blame Canada.
I'm at that drop dead heart attack age too, so
That's no joke, man. That happened to a guy in my my old guard unit.
You watch Bill Burr's new thing. It's like half of this thing is about the fucking drop dead age or whatever, right?
Oh, I gotta show this off too. We're gonna step in. Fourth wall break, real quick. Fuck shoveling.
I mean, that background looks better than your fake background.
You think so?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
You know what you should have?
Massive.
There you go. Yeah. I gave those away. I had those. I gave them away to my buddy. I had all 4 of them. Because there's
about to
really
get into
4 of
them.
them. So because there's the ultimate, there's the Invincible Universe one too. That's a little skinnier with Adam Eve on the cover.
Yeah.
That has a lot of the ancillary material, like Adam and Eve and Rexplode miniseries, the Guarding the Globe, two 12-issue miniseries, maxi series, I guess, featuring Grit.
Yeah. I don't know. About to dive into it after I'm trying to not to rush myself into it actually, because it's going to be like another year and a half probably before we get the next season. But
I think the next season is supposed to come out in 1 year. I think it's supposed to come out around February, March of next year.
Still a long time, man. I got to read my comic books from like last week.
Multiple seasons of a show within 1 year.
No, but
multiple seasons of a show within 1 year.
No, I'm not saying I expect it. I'm just saying it's still a long time. If I just rush through it now, I should wait like maybe a few months and then start cooking on it. I still got to finish my Star Wars book I was reading too. It's like A New Dawn.
Sure.
John Jackson Miller, I think.
I got to read my Absolute Green Lantern #1 that came out today.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I can't get into DC like that. That might change though. I feel like the Superman movie might actually.
DC is classically way better than Marvel. Like all the DC stories are like Spider-Man's a better character than a lot of the other characters, and X-Men are a popular group, and Avengers are okay, but like it's just the movies, and the Marvel movies have done better, but DC stories their big events are better. The Justice League is a way better of a team than the Avengers ever are.
See, I always felt like Marvel characters are just more relatable.
They are.
That's why I like it.
That's part of it, is that Marvel's characters are more grounded and everything else, and like the Justice League are like gods, right? And like that's how the public in the DC world views them. I haven't read it yet, Daniel. I've just bought it today. I told you. I just said I got to read it, right? I just said I got to read it.
Damn it, Daniel. Maybe I should just go with this background.
Oh.
See, what always bothers me about this background is like the webcam. I can never get level. Like you can see this.
That? No, that's not good. Too much flare, eh?
Dirt in my eyes.
There's that, and then there's. They're the same cover. One's foil. This one's foil. I bought three versions of issue #1. That's what I'm saying here.
Thought it was mirrored for a second.
It's just foil.
Yeah.
And then I bought the new Hush facsimile that came out today too. Foil version of that.
Yeah. See, what bothers?
2 started last week.
What happened? What's that?
Hush 2 started last week. Like the new Jeff Loeb and Jim Lee.
Yeah.
Started last week. And remember, Battle Beast comes out in like 2 weeks, the 19th, I think.
The show?
the comic book by Kirk.
Oh, because they are making a spin-off show for it.
No, they're not making a spin-off show yet. So what they're doing is there's a spin-off comic book that is going to cover the time when after Battle Beast is defeated outside of the you know, like we saw in this last season, Battle Beast fights the Viltrumite, and then he doesn't show up for like 60 issues. Like he doesn't show up. So in the comic books, the Battle Beast, I don't know if it's going to be an ongoing or it's going to be just like a limited series. Like it might be 6, 8, 12 issues, but it's going to be, like I said, it's going to be
Milking the Beast.
After Battle Beast gets beats the Viltrumite anyway.
Milking the Beast.
Something like that anyway. It's going to be that time period, or maybe it might be after he disappears after helping Concrete, it might be after that actually. It might be. I'm not exactly sure the time period, but it's a time period where Battle Beast disappears for a while, and they're covering that time period. So, like I said, I'm buying probably 10 versions of issue number 1. Hopefully, they're not all the same.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be blind bags. So if you go to your local comic shop, you'll probably be able to buy blind bags of the Battle Beast number 1. So it'll be a bag. Your comic book will come in a bag, and you don't know what version of the cover will be inside of it. And
Interesting.
There'll be the cover A, the cover B. There might be a 1 in 10, like a 1 in 10 where it's like one. You get this version of the comic for every 10 you order. There might be a 1 in 25 where you get this version for every 25, a 1 in 100, a 1 in 50, a 1 in 500, and a 1 in 1,000. Yeah. It's pretty cool, man.
So you think this background makes me look more official?
Sure. Yeah.
I just don't like how the shelves are like not level.
I think that just means turning your camera like this.
I tried. It doesn't. I can't get it to work. That's why
the camera won't turn.
Well, it's on my monitor, and I've tried not having it on my monitor, and like I don't know, I gave up. That's honestly the legit reason why I usually do the background.
You just put like it's fine on an angle too. You just put a piece of paper underneath your monitor.
I don't know, man. Because I can move the monitor to make it level, but then the monitor doesn't actually look level. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? So it's got to be the way the webcam sits on the monitor. I don't know. I quit.
All right, dude. I hope you guys have a great night. I gotta go shovel some snow at 10:30 at night.
Separate. I tried that, but my monitors are too close together, and I'm a mess, man. All right, this guy's gotta go shovel shit. I mean, snow. He's gonna get knee deep in it.
I'll let you know if I'm alive tomorrow. All right.
That's a good way to end us. All right. All right. Thanks for showing up, everybody. Have a good one.
Nerd Mafia, forget about it. We run laps in 12 parsecs, maybe less, and done flat. A good fella here to bless them all with fun facts.
Leave the gun.